Let's bring in Peter Tuchman. He is the Einstein of Wall Street, the institution inside the institution of the New York Stock Exchange. Thank you for being here.
Nice.
Well, however you want to hold it,
specialty.
honestly.
That's my specialty.
You're not kidding. Broad selling across the tape, advance to declines, one advancer for every two declines. So pretty decisively negative breadth on this day.
Yeah.
But after all-time highs, after a Fed meeting, what did you see in today's price action?
You know what? Look, I was curious about the way the market reacted to the Fed. Right, the initial thing, all eyes were on that meeting. It was probably the biggest anticipated Fed meeting in a while for lots of different reasons. Just because obviously what's going up against Jay Powell and the president going up against each other, a little bit of a...
All right, turn the microphone. There we go. Welcome back.
I don't need a microphone. Hello. Okay, so anyway, look, well-anticipated meeting, okay, the Fed meeting, right? We had a, mid-November, we had a little bit of a wild mixed signals. The spike got down to about 15% probability that we'd have a cut, and then it got up to 85% spike, right? So Dan Ives said that the chances of us not having a cut are about the same as me playing center for the New York Knicks in the 25-26 season.
Sure.
So we knew there was going to be a cut. So the 25 base point cut is what the market needed. The market made it clear to us that's what they had to have. Okay, the first reaction, low of the day was the 2 o'clock announcement, high of the day was the closing bell. So Wednesday, whether it was a knee jerk or it was just what the market wanted, the reaction was fine. We came in on the next day, and overnight we had started to sell some stock, and people thought, okay, well now it's really not, the response wasn't a good one, now we're going to start selling it. But we opened at the low yesterday and closed at the high. So that was a show that, you know what, no, we actually like this. And look, and as you described there, look, you're going to have a lot of different things. You've got tax harvesting, you've got profit taking, you've got people who are positioning themselves around the fact that they were questioning whether we would have a cut or not. Right? It was very clear to us in November that a lot of the big players had very interest rate sensitive portfolios. We saw that every time the number changed, it sold off aggressively and rallied aggressively. Today, I think it's a mixture of two things. I think it's profit taking. I think it's also tax harvesting. I also think it's response to the Oracle story. Right? The Oracle story describes that we've talked about it before. Oracle, Meta, Google, and some of the bigger players who are not in AI have over the last 6 months committed huge dollars to the data center story. Well, the news that came out today was that the data centers that Oracle was building, which they've locked in a lot of supply to specific players, is going to be delayed a couple of years. Right. Well, think about that. This is a very, look, NVIDIA's sort of monopolized the whole story. It is a limited supply of the GPUs. So when you actually have a supply that's being offered to you and you lock that in, and suddenly that is being delayed a couple of years, that definitely offers a little bit of anxiety.
Yeah, Oracle shares down 11%, pulling tech. I got 30 seconds left or so. What's on your radar for next week, the final full trading week here in 2025?
You know, a lot is going on. We've got an S&P rebalance, we've got a Russell rebalance. As I said, the last 2 weeks of the year, there's a part of me that I've already printed up the Dow 50,000 hats and the S&P 7,000 hats. That's what I'm hoping. I think the runway should be clear. It depends on how the narrative over the weekend is on this story about Oracle. Because if this is more than just profit taking and people start to worry and they sort of bring up that story again about why did these people take on all this debt when they didn't need to, that's going to pull the market down a little bit. You know what, net, it's been a great year.
Sure.
We're up double digits for the year. The market has told us by 48 record closes that it's going to be a good year, net, no matter what happens in the next 2 weeks.
We'll see.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
All right, there you go. Santa Claus is coming to town. The Santa Claus rally officially kicks off Christmas Eve, goes until the second trading day of January. Who better to kick off the broadcast with the Harlem Globetrotters than the great Einstein of Wall Street? My man, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Cheers.
Enjoy your weekend.
Always
Josh, grab your
Thanks,
microphone.
buddy.